Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone's having a great day today. In today's video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I change out my insulin pump. Right now I am on the Omnipod system. I am on the, I think this is the second round or third round of their pods, so they're a little bit different than their first pods. But I may switch to a different pump, but I'm just going to show you guys how I change this one out. So the first thing I need to do is I'm going to show you where this pod is that I currently have on. I currently have my pod, let me step up, right here on my leg, and I'm going to switch it over to my other leg. So what I'm going to do is I need my PDM to deactivate this pod. So I turn on the PDM. This is the Personal Diabetes Manager from Omnipod. This controls your pod when you get it. If this is a tubeless pod, all the tubing is actually inside the pod. So we just turn this on. It says my name there, and I hit confirm. And I need to deactivate this pod. Now my last bolus today was 2 units at 2:24 p.m. and right now it is 4:35 p.m. I don't know if you can see that. It's up in the upper right hand corner. I think it'll be left for you, and it'll be right. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit home, and it's going to say bolus, more actions, temp basal, my records, settings, and suspend. So I'm going to go down to more actions and hit select, and it'll say change pod, add BG reading, assign edit BG tags, view food library. So I'm going to hit change pod, hit select, and it says press confirm to begin the pod change process. This will deactivate your current pod. So I hit confirm, and it's communicating with the pod now. Communication error. Remove pod. Okay, so I'm going to retry. I'm going to remove this near the pod. Should work. Okay, it says pod deactivated. Remove and discard the pod, then press next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up. I'm going to put this down a bit so maybe you guys can see what I'm doing. And you'll see the pod is right here. I'm going to do this lower. Yeah, I know I'm showing everything off here, right guys? God, just what you wanted to see. Pull this pod off. Sometimes the tape does not come off right away. On me, these never come off right, and what happened was I laid on it and it became a bleeder, so I have to be careful. And you can see the canula right there. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see it right there. That's the cannula that goes in. I just fold these in half and I recycle these. So then I'm going to take an alcohol swab, and I'm going to clean that area up really well. Ouch. This one hurts. I don't know. You can see that it's got a little reaction to it. That's weird. I never have a reaction. And then I'm taking a small band-aid. I'm going to sit down to this one. You can see. I'm going to put a band-aid on it because that one hurts like heck. Well, boy, oh boy. Not a good day today. It's a small bandage. I picked kind of a tiny one. That's okay. It's a really tiny bandage. I'm trying not to touch it, but my hands are clean. I have to get some like antibiotic ointment and scar ointment because I'm starting to get some scarring from this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move it over to this leg right here. I'll show you right here. You can see other areas where I've had the pod. Yeah, I know I need to shave, but yeah. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is put this up a little bit. Okay. Now I need to activate another pod. I know my head is cut off right here, but I want to keep everything here. So this is a new pod that I need to activate. So what I'm going to do is make a little room on this little table here. So I have my PDM, I have my new pod, and I have my vial of insulin, and this is more than a sufficient amount for 3 days. Usually you fill for 3 days. Some people run out and they have them full. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this pod up. The garbage over there. Gussie! I'll take this pod out for now, and you can see that the syringe is right there. Take that out. You have to save that plastic container. Gussie! Stop. Okay. Gussie almost knocked over my table. So, as I was doing this, I have the syringe ready. I have the pod ready. I have to put it back into this container. This is how you have to prime it. And I'm going to turn this camera around so you guys can see what I'm doing. So now what I have to do is I have to get this pod set up for me to apply. So on here it says pod deactivated, remove and discard the pod, and then press next. And it says, would you like, no, active pod, would you like to activate a pod now? I click yes. Fill new pod with insulin. So what I'm going to do is I have my insulin right here. I need to clean the top off, of course. Clean the top off just like this. And I'm going to take the syringe, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cap off, and I'm going to draw in the air a few times so that way it loosens up the syringe. Okay. Then I'm going to take it and draw it up to, let's see, I'm going to go in between the 100 and the 85 because I haven't really needed a whole lot of insulin lately. And then I'm going to take this and put it in the Humalog, press the air in, and then draw the same amount back out. And I need to flick it a few times while I'm doing this. Should do it straight, but you know, no. Okay, take it out. I'm going to put it into the pod right here is where you fill it. Wait for the 2 beeps. Then it says hit next here. These have to be touching. Okay. I should start priming. There it goes. It's priming. Okay. Now it says prepare infusion site, remove pods, needle cap. If cannula sticks out as shown below, press discard. Okay, so I'm going to turn the camera back around so you can see what I'm doing. Okay guys, so let me show you where I'm going to put this new pod. I'm putting a new pod right here on my leg. So it's a good spot for me because it works well. So I'm going to take another alcohol swab and prepare the site. And you rub around in circles. And I rub all over to make sure I get it nice and clean. Okay. All right. And then what you do is you take the pod out here, and this is the needle cap right here, this plastic piece. I'm going to snap that right off. And if the cannula sticks out and you can't use it, this one's fine. I'm going to put the pod on. Find a good spot right here. And I go around and I press it on really good to make sure it's on. because it has the tape is all the way around except for where the cannula site is and where the fill hole is. So I'm going to go all the way around. Make sure everything is done. Okay. Then it says to hit next. Remove pod's adhesive backing. I had done that. If pod is wet or dirty or adhesive is folded, press discard. If pod is okay, apply to sites. And it is, so I will hit next. Press start to insert cannula and begin basal delivery. And I will hit start, and you'll probably hear the click when it goes. And I usually pinch up so that way I don't get hurt and it goes in correctly. I know you guys probably heard that. Ouch! That one hurt like heck today. Oof. The cannula is inserted correctly. I can see the pink moved up from the needle. I will hit yes. And then it tells me that it will expire on 7/18 at 4:44 p.m. because that's when I started about 4 minutes ago, even though it says 4:48. Takes a while to get this done, especially with the video. Normally it would just take me a few minutes, but yeah. Okay guys, so this is how I apply or change my insulin pump out. This is my pump. It's the Omnipod, and I don't know if anybody has heard, but Omnipod is coming out with a new system. It's called the Omnipod Dash. What it's going to do is it's going to eliminate this PDM, and the new PDM is going to look like a cell phone, like a small cell phone. And that one, it's basically a locked out cell phone. You can only use it for the Omnipod. They will use that, plus they'll be using a different meter, and the meter, glucose meter, will communicate with the Omnipod. And I don't know anything else about the system, but I think it's a great new system. I hope it works for a lot of people. I hope it works for me. I'm really not sure if I'm going to stay with Omnipod or if I'm going to switch to either Tandem T-Slim or Medtronic, because they have different infusion sets that can be used. The Omnipod, you're stuck with, the pod, the cannula, the way it inserts. Everybody has a different, insertion, infusion rate, and especially depends on how much, if you have any scarring tissue, like when you've been doing it for a while. I've been using the Omnipod since last October, so it's, you're going to start developing scar tissue. I have to start learning to use my back because it's, I need to start learning how to use my back because I'm running out of places to put the pod. And I think that if I had a smaller infusion set, even though it would be tubed, it would be a lot easier than having this bulky pod on. A lot of people put the pods back here, which is where they were intended to be, but everybody applies them everywhere. And on their website, it shows the different application methods. So for adults, you can put it on your leg, you can put it on your back, you can put it on the back of your arm. I don't remember where else. I know it's on the abdomen, and the side of the abdomen, you can put it as well. You think of my insulin pump. Okay guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed, please subscribe and take care. And I will see you all in the next video. Okay guys, bye.